welcome to another video from playersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And we're here with Mark Herman at WBC. And we are sat down with
Always
Army
a pleasure,
of the Potomac.
Love to see you. We've had breakfast with him already.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a
He's already trying to kick us out because we're bugging him too much.
No. It's not like that at all. You guys been playing Congress of Vienna.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we walked in and we were like,
design that original system?
I might have.
Or did Frank Esparago design the original
Frank
system?
did.
Frank was,
Yeah, it's a really good, reimagining of the Churchill system. He did a great job.
Yeah.
And it was obviously for him it was a real labor of love. So he did a great job, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we played that a few months ago, like just to kind of get with it a little bit, and it was like, ooh, got to play the whole thing. And
cool.
so we spent what?
So did you get through the whole thing?
Yep,
We did.
So who won?
British one.
Thought they. I looked like that when I looked at it after turn 6. I thought the British had it.
Yeah.
And which was
So-
interesting because it swung to the Austrians,
Very heavy swung
but
to the
then
Austrians.
there was a collapse of the
When,
Russian
well, how many?
Austrian.
Yeah. So when
Cooperation.
did the French? So there was a Russia-Austrian army within 2 spaces of Paris. Is that the one that got in?
No, they did
No
not
one
get
got
it.
in. We were this
Oh.
close, and
And I'm going to be honest, I worked very closely with him to give him the cards he needed to win. So he defeated them, pushed them back, and then no Allied army got in.
Oh wow.
So we finished at 10, and
So you were helping the French.
yes,
Okay, good.
it's the British.
Well, it is very
a historical garbage.
Yeah.
No, Perfidious Albion will do what Perfidious Albion has to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful game, and
Good.
we've had a great time with it.
So this is Army of the Potomac, though, and
Yes.
now we're in the Civil War, not Napoleonic era.
And what you can't see is that this game stretches about another 10 feet that way.
It is. So let me just start. There are 3 things I should say. So first off, because I get reaction to people. So first off, it's maps A, B, C, and D. So 4 maps. Think of it that way. Each of those 4 maps has multiple scenarios on it. 1-map scenarios. If you know how to play Rebel Fury, you can play all those 1-map scenarios out of the box, no rules reading. In fact, and I will show you. So this is the actual final rules.
Rules.
This is it. I mean, this game is just waiting for, and this is all of the things you would have to know if you didn't play Rebel Fury. It's just some cavalry clarification.
3 bullet
Okay.
points.
3 bullet points, and that's it. So it's identical rules. Some guys were starting to do some, gamers are amazing at sort of saying, I have cavalry. Can I do something un-cavalry-like with them? And, no, you cannot insult entrenchments, and so you had to sort of say no. But they were creating, but other than that, everything is the same. And that's good. So if you've played Rebel Fury, you got these 4 maps, and so I guess you could sort of alternate. So this is the turn record track only for the 1864 scenarios, and you'll note that there's these color bars, right? There's 7 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. These are each of the scenarios that you can play just on these maps on 1864. There's another display, which is, I can get it, but it just has the 7 days battles and Fair Oaks 2 battles that play on map D, C and D.
So which battles are included in the box? All
Okay,
four.
so first off, so let's start with the 1862. So Fair Oaks, 7 Pines Fair Oaks is a 2-turn scenario. That's it. It's got very few pieces, so it's unlike Fredericksburg, which is kind of like, this is an interesting scenario, but not a lot of pieces,
Right.
only 2 turns. That's the first part. Then you had the 7 days battles. Now the 7 days battles is plays again on one map and a half, down there, but it's 1 table. It has 2 different scenarios for 7 days battles. One is historical. That's a solitaire, because McClellan doesn't want to fight, and he's retreating.
Yeah.
So what happens is, just using the Rebel Fury system, you put the McClellan HQ down where he's going, and then the solitaire system tries to go there. And as Lee, you get to try to knock out the wagon. There's even a wagon train. I mean, you try to knock out the wagons. You try to fight your way through. Great solitaire scenario, and very historical. I don't have to write any special rules because McClellan didn't want to fight. So the Union just kind of falls back and defends themselves, and that's very historical. And then there's a 2-player version of it, no special rules, and you realize that McClellan could have taken Richmond. And that's a very tough one for the Confederates, because literally, I mean, it's right over there, but McClellan's like this far away from Richmond.
Yep.
I mean, it's like 5-6 hexes. and there's not a lot of Confederates between, and he's got this big army, and he runs away. Yeah, you can't make that up, right? So
there
that's
was a reason he ultimately was replaced.
well, it's funny that both Lee and he. So this is May 25th of 1862, and McClellan is starting his offensive, and is a probing attack, and Lee is starting to do this turning, and Lee goes, "What's he doing over there?" Lee actually rides to the battlefield on a horse with Jefferson Davis, and they look around and they go, "This is just a probe. This is not a real thing, and I'm going to ignore this." And then he launches his attack on the 26th, and when McClellan looks up and goes, "Oh, I'm being attacked," he postpones his attack, and he never goes back. So it's just, he lost, Lee, McClellan. So that's that one. And Fair Oaks is, actually, Joe Johnston is actually the commander of Fair Oaks. That's when he gets wounded, and Lee takes over. So you get the earlier battle in May, and then you have the 7 days battle, and that's just great solitaire stuff. Play it right out of the box, Rebel Fury, it's all there. Now, so in May 4th of 1864, so now we're literally 2 years later, almost to the day, Grant launches his overland campaign, and when you have Rebel Fury, the first battle is Wilderness, then Spotsylvania Courthouse. Okay, so that's what you get in Rebel Fury, and I ended on the May 12th, which is after the big final repulse after he takes the mule's shoe and then they fall back and all that bloody angle, and that's where I ended Rebel Fury. This one picks up at that moment. So this starts on May 13th. Now, if you don't own Rebel Fury, you don't need Rebel Fury. You just start, and so it starts literally, so this is Spotsylvania Courthouse, here's Laurel Hill. So this was the position of that. And there's a one map scenario. This is map A right here. And you can just play that scenario, and it plays both two-player and solo. So, because the Lee could just defend while you, as Grant, try to break your way through. And that's about 6 turns long. And that's the, so you look at this thing, see the red?
Yes.
That red? That's that scenario right there. It's 10 turns long. That's the Spotsylvania Courthouse. And then Grant doesn't break through, so he cuts around, and they go down to here. This, and by the way, I'll come back to this, but this is the North Anna over here. Where am I going? Yeah, North Anna River. So there's an almost battle here. The Union comes over, and then Grant goes, "Oh, I'm not going to try this." That one is also a solitaire and two-player scenario, but that's only 2 turns long. Here, the green one. So that's only this. So it's a nice two-turn scenario. You can set it up and play it, but it's more like Fredericksburg. These guys are dug in. It's not going to be pretty, but you get to see it.
Yeah.
It's historical, and they almost fought that battle, but they did. Then, what I think is one of the best scenarios, so Cold Harbor. So everybody has a view of what Cold Harbor was. On June 3rd, in the morning, the Union Army, well, again, it's outside of the camera, we can go down there, but at Cold Harbor, they're trying to turn Lee's right flank again to get to Richmond, and in an hour, it's a bad repulse. But what people think was, they say, well, they lost 12,000 casualties. None of that's true. They lost 3,500 men in the morning. But just to give you a gauge, Pickett's charge, the Confederates lost 8,000 men. So Cold Harbor gets a lot of myth. But what I do here is, this is a grand, oh, by the way, I had to teach you guys something. So you guys always go, grand tactical is not tactical, it's not operational. It actually has a definition.
Okay.
It is maneuver combinations preliminary to battle and during a battle. That's why you keep thinking it's a maneuver game, because it is. That's how they were, Army generals, that's what they fought at. Everything that's tactical is corps and below. You're Grant, you're not, Sedgwick or Hancock or those guys. And so it's a very specific level of how they were taught in West. All these guys had the same teacher in West Point, and this is how they were taught what that means, and that's the game I designed. So it sits between like any tactical game, like you guys, we all like Sacrifice, the Gettysburg game.
Most Faithful Sacrifice.
Yeah, so that's a tactical game, and then of course Berg's my favorite. Three Dog is regimental, even more tactical. And then you've got the great campaigns of the American Civil War, which I think I sold you my last of my copies of that.
Yes, you did.
I hope you're enjoying them.
Oh, yeah.
That's operational. That's one map. I'm half-mile scale. I'm literally between the two, but that's where it's supposed to be an Army general. not a theater command. It's an Army general. And so in this one, Cold Harbor, it's a turning movement that starts on May 27th. And so it's more like Gettysburg. The Union Army is coming on the map as Lee is trying to catch up to them. So there's nobody there's like 5 counters on the map at the beginning, and it's this big meeting battle, and the Cold Harbor is just the very end. It's just, they had literally 9 different assaults, left flank, right flank. Cold Harbor was just the end of it. And after that, that's the end of this game, June 5th I ended on. And after that, Grant, go you can see the thick James River. He gets around and he goes to a place called Petersburg, which will be in another volume.
Nice.
So this game covers the entire 1-month campaign at a campaign that has a new campaign overlay. You don't ever have to play it. You don't need all 12 maps, 12 feet of map, but you can. And this is just me getting even with the East Front guys after all these years. But it only has 40 counters.
Sure.
I mean, so it's not, this is the entire order battle right in front of you here. And what happened is, I had guys playing who were less experienced. The Union actually turned Lee. Lee was actually almost cut off. It was almost a disaster. I actually had to step in and say, let me play the Confederates a little bit. I got them out. But so it is true that skill matters in games.
Sure.
And I'm really good at this one. So I got Lee on this.
Out of danger.
Lee is at least between the Union Army and Richmond, which he wasn't a little bit earlier, about 2 turns ago. So it's all good. So, and now what's different is in the operational overlay, you have, so Rebel Fury, you have a blown unit, comes back a day later, and if you lose it on the last day, it's eliminated. Now, the reason that is, and by the way, I give a full article on the combat system in the designer notes, so you get like a 10,000 word article. If you ever wanted to know about all the math, it's all in there. But the main point is, the reason is, so a lot of games, remember like Alexander the Great had route points, and you have army cohesion. So all I'm doing is, those guys have now been fighting for 2, 3, 4 days. Humans don't go much longer than that. So when you're losing guys on the last day, it's saying that I'm losing the battle, I got to attack, or I'm winning the battle, I don't need to attack. And that's when you get, so I create the motivation for a Pickett's charge without any rules, because you're losing, and if you don't do something, I win. And that creates the historic tension, and the soldiers are exhausted. They're on their last leg. And so after those last assaults, it's not that they're dead, they're just, the game's over.
Yeah, you lost.
Right. However, in this game, that's not the case in the Overland. So when a guy gets blown, he gets a casualty marker. And you remember that 2 limit rule? That's not in here. You just keep bringing guys back.
Okay.
And 3 hits kills a guy, and you get replacements. So in this game, and replacements are automatically, when you have certain conditions, like you lose 2 strength points, pairs of strength points, a guy gets a second loss, or a guy's eliminated, replacements are automatically requested, and so they're starting to get replacements now, and it comes in 8 days later, which is a week. Because remember, you go to Washington to beat guys, well, they have to get them organized, they have to march them down there, and so, and you have to understand, the Overland campaign, these guys were very hesitant. I've been play testing with more bloody-minded friends. We're getting the historical results. This is a very light casualty game right now. They don't want to fight each other. They're like, I was afraid to.
Yeah.
But in my games, that's not the case. I'm happy to keep fighting. And the Union lost 53,000 men in a month, and the Confederates lost about 36,000. Basically, over 90,000 guys, almost 100,000 guys died in 1 month in this campaign. And the game catches all of that. And so remember, everyone goes, well, assaults are very bloody. That's what happened, buddy. In 1 month, 100,000 guys?
Yeah.
That's a lot of humans. And they're all Americans, obviously. So what happens is a guy gets blown, he goes out, comes back in 2 turns like in Rebel Fury, but now he's got a casualty marker on him. And you get replacements, and there's only a certain number of replacements, and so the armies wear down over time.
Do the casualties, obviously that's, you're going to get eliminated eventually. Do they also incur a combat penalty or anything like that?
Not for the first one. Good, excellent question. But if you have a 2 casualty, you have a 2-column shift against you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a big shift.
What's the red plus?
I'm not,
Is that just drawn on there above the 1?
I mean, no, that's like a casual, that's a medical.
Okay.
It's just like, that's how Charlie Kibler.
Yeah,
I said, I need a casualty marker. That's what he gave me.
That's what he gave it.
But that's a standard thing for like medical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a medical symbol, is what it is. And then remember ammunition, and that's the other thing. So in Rebel Fury, because these battles are only 3 days, you have full trains. Everybody's using artillery. Like you guys kind of. Some people usually run out by the end of the battle.
Yeah,
But what happens here is
two turns before the end of the battle, I've run out because I blow through my
right,
cannon.
and that's that. But here, what happens is, in this particular story, you start with 10 only because that's how much they had. As soon as you get below 5, you automatically roll a die and you get 5 more ammunition points either within 1 day or a day and a half. So what starts to happen is that gets asymmetric. So I have a lot of artillery ammunition, you're kind of running low, and so the game plays not entirely different. I mean, the system is the same, but the feel of it is totally different in the campaign because all these asymmetries and then sometimes you go into battle mode because I'm out of ammunition. You go into battle mode, which you don't usually do. It's just got. And then also, by the way, when you have an asymmetry in a maneuver in battle mode on a PM turn, there are night marches. The guy who's in maneuver mode gets to move some guys around at the end of the turn. So there's all this thing that's going on. Everybody's been having a very good time. This is like my new lifestyle game.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, thank you to a guy named Joel Topin. The Vassal module's done. This entire map is in every scenario. We just laid all the maps out. And it was
amazing.
And also, lastly, it combines with Rebel Fury.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So I have it. I didn't set it up because I was running out of room. But the camera's over there, right?
Yeah.
So I printed this out at home. So, Alexander, if you could just put your hand there. So what this is this is the A map right here. You see the A? This is the A map that's right here. This is underneath is the original Fredericksburg Chancellorsville map, and then on top of that is the Wilderness map, which on top of that is the A map. So, and by the way, north is that way. That's why it wasn't that. So anyway, you literally could start before the Wilderness and play out the entire month and you use the cannons from Rebel Fury to start the campaign.
Got it.
Because that's where the armies, and I've had enormous, and a lot of it, most of the attrition actually took place between here and Spotsylvania Courthouse. And so a lot of the killing is gone. After this becomes more maneuver, where this game starts is more the maneuver phase, but the blood phase is all in here.
So here's the question then. Obviously, Vassal's going to be a very helpful way to play this, just from a size standpoint.
Yeah.
You've got the big campaign set up. If you were to start Monday morning, how long does it take on average to play the whole campaign?
So that's a fair question, and here's my answer. A typical turn, you should be able to, look, so listen, we all play at different speeds.
Sure.
So when I was playing...
We're extremely slow.
But just like on average.
Yeah, no, forget about that.
How could it take 2 weeks? That's different.
So what I've learned a long time ago, and I've written articles about it, we all play differently. People go, how long does it take to play? People, player skill varies. In other words, the competitors were finished and I pulled it out, but I'm probably the only one right now who could do that. Popowski's a very good player, so are these other guys, but they wouldn't necessarily know all the tricks.
Yeah.
The historical tricks, but tricks nevertheless. Disengagement, by the way, is an absolutely critical skill in Rebel Fury, but usually you don't. This one is absolutely critical. That's how you get out.
Why? And in a campaign, that's much more important.
Very important. That's how and the guy's going, oh, you can do. When you're doing something, and you go, you can do that? Yes, you can do that.
Well, that's the way the formation changes to allow you to then march more quickly.
Well, first off, when you're stuck against the guy, you're in battle formation. But then you bounce back 3. You can put detachments as a rear guard. Then you got to pull away, and then then in the next turn you flip and run.
Yeah. That's what and the detachments really act as a speed bump.
Can be, or they could be a flying column. But when you're in desperate mode, that's what you're using. You're throwing in a rear guard. So I was able to get this around using those tricks. But it's all in the rules. It's not a trick. It's just what they would do. So you had to learn how to. Everybody wants to get their teeth and they just want to keep going. And the answer is no. Back,
gotta
break away, and start again if you can. So that's a key skill in this thing.
But the time to do...
Okay, so now I'm getting to the time to answer your question. So a day, which is 2 turns, should take 20 minutes. So if the thing is 30 days long, 20 minutes, what is that, 10 hours? Yeah. But I have found that in this campaign, historically, sometimes the battle turned on 5 minutes. So sometimes you literally can find yourself like, oh, that's bad, and you get into. I was fascinated by the situation was so messed up. I enjoyed sitting here. I was here at 7 o'clock. You saw my post, I think.
Yeah.
I was here like at 7 o'clock in the morning, sitting here going, how did I get out of this again? And so I was really working, and it worked great, but I had to really look at it to say, I've never seen how that messed up a situation.
Right.
So it takes a little bit of thing, which is what you want to play games for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think for us, the concept of doing the full campaign is something that is very intriguing.
Oh yeah.
but that's a Vassal thing, and the Vassal will let you do the whole thing.
A little easier.
Yeah,
well, no, but you
this
leave
might
it set
be
up.
too big even
Yeah,
for
yeah.
my
Yeah,
table.
and by the way, no,
we
but
don't have this large of a table.
even I don't. But
Yeah.
but you know what a conveyor belt looks like. So you play a map
Right,
A,
and you move
and then
it. Yeah,
when
yeah,
these guys are about to start moving onto
You
B,
move
get rid of
it,
A, move
pull
B
it.
down, put on
Absolutely.
C, and go on. It's,
But I would love to do that because
Oh, yeah.
we've played 2 or 3 of the scenarios and have very much enjoyed.
but you can finish this in a weekend,
Yeah.
and
Start Friday night, you're done
And
by
you're-
Saturday evening.
absolutely that has been my experience. But I'm playing with my old friend Gons, and we've been playing games since we were in 3rd grade, so we move even faster than 20. So we can get through a day. It's 2 turns, and some turns are very quick.
Right.
10, 15 minutes is a turn a day. That's 2 turns for us.
Yeah.
But some guy and the new guys, it took them one turn took 35 minutes for just half a day. It just depends on how hard you think.
Well, in some
analysis
situations,
paralysis,
right, sometimes you just like, you're just
familiarity. Yeah. So how long it takes to play, but realistically, 20 minutes should be 2 turns. 20 minutes should be a day.
Okay.
That's my
But
translation.
it's either one extremely long day or probably a nice casual weekend.
Yeah, you guys. Yes, you should be able to finish. Oh, it would. There's no question you can finish it in a weekend. You can. We would. I'm not done yet. I believe we might get this done by the end of this con because I still have. I'm going to play tonight.
Yeah.
And I have to. But my problem is, it goes for a long period of time. I don't have anybody to play with. Now, if you guys want to play, we can play tonight.
Sure.
But I'm just saying that we're in the maneuver phase of the camp. And by the way, this is funny. So you can't see it, guys, but at the beginning of the scenario, Sheridan, the cavalry corps, starts down there. So you got all this cavalry at the other end of the map, and Sheridan's got to try to get back here. And now Breckinridge, Siegel's lost the Battle of Newmarket, and Breckinridge's Valley Army has just shown up here. So there's starting to be rebel reinforced. Now, I said there's 40, so there's like in this 20, there's like 22 and 18th of this crowd here. Maybe a total of another half dozen counters come in. So let's call it under 50 the whole time. And by the way, it's supplied. So here's the wagon. The railroad depot is here. There's a counter for it. It got very straightforward supply rules. Basically, railroad has to have a clear, and again, I write this one time, don't go, what about, you have to have a clean line between the wagon train and the railroad. No enemy units running around, no ZOI, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, railroads asked the question. But as long as there's a straight line between here and there, which it does, or by road, and you're within range of your HQ, you're normal supplied. Just like no supply rules. If that gets screwed up, then you're in extended supply, and that means that all your guys have 2 column shifts against them, and you can only shoot artillery once in that turn. Because the problem with this is ammunition, not food. There's no shortage of food. I mean, they go hungry sometimes, but there's food.
Yeah.
There's all food all over. This is May in Virginia. There's food around. There's stuff to steal. But ammunition, these guys were running out of small arms ammunition. You got to have the ammo wagons around. If the wagon are running around somewhere and they're not close by, battles, and that sometimes happens. Both sides are both in extended supply, and there's not any fighting, it's just running. And it happens, and it's, when you displace your wagons, you're going to be at an extended supply for a turn or two, like a day. So that's all, but it's all straightforward, and it's not complicated. That it really does play. I don't know how long it takes to play some of these other games, like the campaigns. Like how long does it take to play a month of GCACW? I have no idea. What would a month of time go for? How many turns is that?
A month it's a day a turn, so that's 30 turns. That's a whole day.
Okay, so this is like half. It's only one. It's a day a day a turn.
Yep.
30 days, and how many hours to play a turn?
It can vary wildly.
Well, I was watching the thing last night. It took 2 hours for this one turn, so I was.
Yeah, for GCACW, it can be a lot like that. But then some turns is like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's
heavy
the same.
rain.
The same here. And oh, but we have weather rules. So you roll. Rain is fun. Very straightforward.
Yeah.
When it's raining, if you're not on the road, you're in battle formation, and you can't do extended march. Otherwise, you normal Rebel Fury, and and that only handles half a day. And when you get to late May, then the probability goes down that it's going to rain. I think I just told you the whole game.
Which is awesome. And
Yeah.
this is...
Well, I think one of the things I love about Rebel Fury and this system is it's just so approachable.
Yeah.
Yet, and it's not a lot of counters, but you do get the meat.
Yeah,
That's the way the combat works and the stars on the guys. I mean, we just had such a blast with it. And I've been looking forward to this one for...
yeah.
I mean, you've been working on this for like 2 years now, 3 years now.
I started with Rebel Fury. Rebel Fury came out in 2024 because I won the award for it.
Yeah.
So I've been working on this for about 18 months, I guess.
Okay.
And like I said, it's finished. This, by the way, is final art. I mean, the counters were printed by Blue Panther Games, so the print on the counters will be more fine. It's better quality. Clarity because they'll be printed. But other than that, these are the maps. I printed it at home, so the maps will be brighter because I'm printing it on a line printer at half ink. I don't want to burn a shit ton of ink and all that.
This is Charlie.
Yep, he did all the research and he did all the maps. And by the way, you can't see it, but Richmond there. Richmond, that's a street level map of Richmond.
Right.
That's not like a. Oh, this is a town hex. No, this is the actual street map of Richmond. I even have Jeff Davis in his house over there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think, because what I love about Rebel Fury is, it's a little battle game, and it's just like a really fast-playing, here's a maneuver game with some combat in it, but you do the battle and it's done. But this is extremely exciting because what I'm loving about the American Civil War is the campaigns. I like that kind of operational or that army, the movement level of something like this.
Well, this is the operational part.
Let's do some stuff. Do some stuff. Because in a lot of tactical games, maybe this is just how we play. It's kind of like fight to the death and throw everyone in, and it's every game it ends in pick its charge, right? Like that's just how we are.
But Howard, to be clear, in this Rebel Fury, that is intentional. That last day turn thing is not like, oh, that's just the way to end the game. That is actually very intentional to my model of Army resilience. Remember, these guys are wearing wool uniforms in the 90-degree weather. They've been marching around literally 20, 30 miles, not eating a lot of food, getting shot at, not sleeping, no water, and they're almost dead.
Yeah.
I mean...
But I love taking someone that we love with the move and combat and then adding the additional stuff that particularly appeals to me means I'm extremely excited for this, and
this will be in every. So now I would say that this is really now the final vision that I was going for. Everyone after this, so the next one's going to have Gettysburg, Antietam, and Vicksburg. But Gettysburg is not going to be like Gettysburg is going to be from like the Potomac River to north of Gettysburg. It's going to have Winchester. It's going to be a lot of maps. I think the next one may have 10 to 12 maps in it. So Antietam will be, you're going to go from literally the Potomac to Antietam, South Mountain. It's all in one vision of it. And it's going to be, I'm already so excited.
Does Gene know it's going to be 10 maps? Is he ready for that?
He'll do.
They'll let Mark do it.
Look, first of all, the guys at GMT, all of them are wonderful.
Yeah.
They treat me better than I deserve, and they know that it's just they basically let me do what I want to do in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, the game won't be cheaper, but you're going to get. Look,
That's a lot of game, though.
I want everybody to get I have this game and I can play it forever, and look, I'm not against a lot of tactical games. You get one battle, or even a part of a battle. There's nothing wrong with that. It's great fun.
Yeah.
But I want people like Rebel Fury had 6 battles. This one has 11. And the campaign isn't part of that. 2 campaigns, because you got and then the other one's going to have huge battles. All Antietam will have Harper's Ferry, South Mountain, and Antietam, and even the battle to get back across the Potomac. Gettysburg is not just Gettysburg, but it's the approach to Gettysburg. You'll have Pipe Creek, and it's going to have the battle in Hagerstown where Lee was up against the Frozen. That'll even be in there. Everything, the whole thing, that's the grand tactical level, which I love. And when you put it into a bigger mosaic, it becomes operational. So and I'll do the same with now Vicksburg, because the Mississippi is quite large. The next level of abstraction is,
like an off-map box.
Well, I already have the off-map system exists, but I have to just do a little bit more with it because the Mississippi River is like 1,000, 500, 600 miles long. I can't do that at the half-mile scale. So this will be the one area for the Vicksburg game, and it'll get a little bit more detail, but it'll still be operational. But you'll be able to play. And Shiloh is a very small battle, but Shiloh will be in there. That's very small battle. We're on. This is running.
It's good.
Map envy. When he was a young boy.
Well, I'd like to meet you, my idiot younger brother.
You good?
Yeah, we're going to have dinner in a little bit. Yeah, I'm around. Very good.
Yeah.
That's David Doctor and Defiance, my co-designers right behind us here.
Good guy, by the way.
He's okay, But if you want to see how we interact, watch his Triumph of Chaos teaching video.
Oh.
That is...
Because that's his game, right?
Yeah, and I shot the video. That and Fire in the Lake when I did it with Voco. These guys are insane with me. I don't know. I'm trying to run a camera and I get into all this noise. Unbelievable. So what other questions do you have?
Well, I was going to ask you one thing about, GMT allowing you to do whatever you want to do. Have you ever got a combat die in one of your coin games? I'm just joking.
No.
Remember Harold got his...
No. I want to be clear. Gene, so during Fire in the Lake, that conversation.
Yeah.
In one year, I got Gene going, it needs more non-coin combat. And in this year, Volko's going, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And I'm in the middle of those two. And I finally got Volko to agree to higher casualties when you attack Americans. That was that was the only compromise. It took the genius of Harold Buchanan to get a die for liberty and death. No.
I just love that story. This is hilarious.
But
who do you tell no? Volko?
But I'm doing this by myself, so that I don't have to argue with anybody.
Yeah,
I get what I want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got my special combat die. You got the orange die.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And that's, by the way, how I handle morale in the game. If they retreat orderly, and they're not in broke, you get the walking guy, and if it didn't go so well, like all the morale, all the checks for morale and crap, it's just the blown die, and they come back in a day. But that day was a disorderly retreat.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to this. Yes. I would expect this to maybe be early next year.
So,
I know you said it's kind of done.
No. As soon as this playbook is laid down, it is all finished by the playbook, which is done, but it has to be laid down.
Okay.
And this current printing, anyway, it's fine. It will go to the printer before September 1st.
Okay.
And then I don't know. Is there a war in Taiwan? Do Martians? Is that there's an object that's supposedly an alien invasion coming in November?
I've heard that.
Is there pirates going to hit? Attack the ship when it leaves port or something? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it will be in the printers, and then after that, it's out of my hands.
Yeah.
It's out of my
I
hands.
just think everybody can look forward to this, an extension of that Civil War Heritage series. And it sounds like you've already got the next couple of volumes lined up.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great.
My plan is, before I expire, I'm going to finish every battle.
Got it.
And so I figure, but I'm also not trying to do it like for 30 years. So each one's going to have, 6 will be the low end. It could be a dozen scenarios in every volume. So it's going to be, I'm trying to get it done maybe like in 4 or 5 volumes of the whole war.
Wow.
So, yeah,
That's impressive.
Yeah, I don't want to drag this out.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to both this one and a lot more to come as well.
And by the way, the title of the next one is called The Iron Dice of Battle, which is a direct quote from Alvin Sidney Johnson right before Shiloh. He says, now I have to throw the iron dice of battle, because he didn't want to fight that battle, but he went, and of course he died there. So, but that didn't go.
Iron Dice of Battle.
What a great phrase.
That is, it's a quote.
Historical quote, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the title of Volume 3.
Well, Mark, as always, it's been a pleasure. I'm sorry that it took us so long to get to sit down with you.
No, you guys, it's WBC. It's been a hoot.
We've had a great time, and it's only day 3, so
yeah. Today's Thursday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I have one more. Oh, I have tomorrow. I'm leaving Saturday morning because driving back into the Manhattan area on a Sunday.
Could be.
I mean, this is a 7-hour trip for me. That could be a 10-hour trip.
Yeah.
Well, I don't envy you that.
No, I'm leaving Saturday morning. That's why I leave Saturday morning. I'm not doing 10 hours.
But yeah, we appreciate you sitting down with us.
My
and
pleasure.
showing us
It's
this.
great. Great.
And appreciate everyone for tuning in. I'm Alexander from PlayerSafe.com.
And I'm Grant.